Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to create the spiked ribs bracelet. This was created by Keith is Looming Mad on Instagram. I have done a couple other tutorials for him as well. I think this is a really cool, thick, and very sturdy bracelet, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. So this bracelet is a 7-bar wide design. So I imagine not many people are going to have enough to do a full length bracelet, so I'm going to do one set of 7 bars with 3 extensions. And the reason I did 3 is so that it hugs the wrist better since it's a wider design. So you don't have to do that if you don't want to. But for today's video, you'll need 218 bands plus the extension bands. The breakdown is 56 of the teal, 22 of the white, 20 of the pink, 40 of the gold, 12 of the inner gold, 24 of this clear blue. You don't see that cap band color, so you can use whatever color you want, and 33 extension bands, approximately. I used 11 per section. You will also need 3 C-clips if you're doing this version and 1 hook. So I am going to show you how to get the loom all connected together, but I just want to quickly say, if you have these long purple bases, they make everything so much easier. I personally love using them for wide designs. I'll link down below if you want to get them, but I'll also attach a picture in case you do have them and want to make that setup so you can kind of follow what I did. But for those of you who don't have those, this is what we're going to be using today. So you will need 7 bar pins, 2 of the long blue bases, and 6 of the small blue bases. If you happen to have more than 3 looms and you have more of these little bases laying around, you can certainly use them to make the loom even tighter, but I'm only using 6 because that's the number that comes with 3 looms. So just in case that's all you have, that's why I'm doing that. So the first thing we're going to do is grab 1 bar pin and 1 small blue base. You're going to have your openings facing away from you, and then you're going to flip that bar over. We're going to count up to the 6th hole, and we are going to attach, we're going to flip our base over, and we're going to attach that middle hole right here to the 6th hole on the bar. So I lost my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we want that to go right into that 6th hole, just like that. So now we're going to come down to the end of the bar, and we're going to grab another small blue base. And this time, counting from the top hole, we're going to come down to the 4th one. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we are going to line up with the base flipped over. You're going to line up the top hole to the 4th hole on the bar and place that in like so. Now you can flip that over. Once you flip it, push it down a little bit just to help lock it in a little. We'll do that many times. And now we're going to grab 2 more bars. For now, it's just going to look like a normal staggered loom setup. So the right one, we're going to stagger it down 1 bar pin. So it's like that. And the same on the left side, staggering it down 1, like so. So it looks like a normal loom right now. Push that down so everything is nice and secure. And we are going to grab 2 more of our small blue bases. We're going to flip our loom back over. And we are going to come right behind, if you're only looking at this right bar pin, you're going to come right behind the blue base. And that is where we are going to stick our next blue base. So we're going to look at these 3 holes on the left of the small base and line it up right underneath that right bar pin like that. Push it in, and we're going to mirror that and do the same thing on the left side. So looking at only the left bar, we're going to come right under the 3 left holes of the small base and line up our next one and push it in. Grab 2 more small bases, and we're going to come up to the top of the loom now, still with it flipped over, and we are going to line it up on top of this blue base. So I want my 3 holes right here to go right on top of these 3. Just like that. And we'll do the same for the left side. Like so. But that is what it looks like right now. We're going to flip this back over. And now we're going to grab some more of our bar pins and start filling this in a little more. So I'm going to grab 2 right now. And we're going to be aligning these next bars. So this bar and this right one should sit right next to each other and line up. Like so. And the same on the left one. So make sure they are sitting right next to each other, side by side. Push them down. And now our last 2 are going to be offset again. So the same way that we had these ones going downwards, we're going to do the same with the outer ones. So you don't want it to sit right next to it. You want to come down 1 so that it sits going downwards. Do the same on the left side. And that's what it should look like from the top view. And then after you kind of get it pushed down a little bit, flip it over. You're going to grab one of your big blue bases. And this part, it doesn't matter 100% exactly where you put it. As far as these 3 bars, that's where it's going to go. If you do it right lined up with that one, or if you even go up 1 more pin, that doesn't matter. But you want it to be, you want the long blue base to be connecting to the right 3 bar pins. And then push that in so it looks like that. And then the same for the left side. So you want this second one to be connected to these 3 bar pins. And this one I did a little more up, but it doesn't matter. I could have had them side by side. So I like to push that down some, and this is what it looks like from the back. Flip it over. And then I like to actually stand, and I go like this. And I push everything into place so that it's nice and secure. So I'm going to sit this to the side because I will not be using this setup. I just wanted to show you how to do it. And now we can finally get started making the bracelet. So I will be doing this exact color combo today. The first color we're going to choose is going to be the teal jelly, specifically the ones that sit in the middle here. So to start off, we will grab 1 and we will lay it in the very center for closing it later. And then we're going to go to the left, and then we're going to go to the left 2 more times. And we're just going to start the very beginning of the border, and then do the same on the right side. So go to the right this time until you reach the corner. Push them down a little bit. And now using those same colors, we're going to come to the second bar pin on the left and lay a straight one. And then the second bar on the right from the middle, do the same thing. So we will keep that color close by, but now you're also going to choose the white. We're going to be laying some diagonal bands. So we're going to come over to the pin that sits to the right of where we just laid that straight one. And we're going to do a diagonal band connecting up to the top of the teal, and do the same on the left. Also keep that color close by, and now we're going to choose the color you want where the pink is. And that is going to be laid going horizontal from the top of the pin, and we're just going to connect it like so to the right and to the left. So we do straight, diagonal, and then the horizontal. And that's what we're going to keep alternating. So we'll go back to the first color, and we will lay that going straight. And then we will grab our white, and from where the pink ended is where our diagonal will go, and we will make sure that that connects up to the teal. Do the same on the left side. And now we will do our third color, which is our pink, and that will end like that. Going back to my teal, going straight. Our white will be diagonal, and the pink will be horizontal. It might seem like it takes a little while. It does. Just take your time so you don't mess the order up, because it is very important that it's in this order. So straight, diagonal, and then horizontal. And we will keep doing those 3 steps all the way up the loom. Now for the set that we are doing in the video, which is the 1 set of 7, we will be laying a total of 11 straight teal. So you should go down the loom until you have 11 of these straight ones. If you are using 2 loom sets, you're going to have 24 of them. So you're going to follow all of the same directions that I'm giving, except you will lay it 24 times and I will lay it 11. But other than that, follow all of the same instructions as me. After you've laid 11 of them, we will lay 1 more diagonal band, but we will not lay a horizontal band at the end. And in case you're confused, I will show you what I mean when I get down there. Okay, so if you're still laying yours, just hit the pause button. But you can see I'm at the end of my loom, and you can see I have 1 empty pin here. So we've laid 11 of the teal, which stops 1 short from the end. I've laid my white diagonal. Do not lay a pink one here, because we will be laying a border band there. So this is what it should look like at the end of your loom. Take a second and push those down, and then I'm going to tell you what we're going to lay next. So we are going to alternate laying the border and the gold that sits on the sides. So have both of those 2 colors, and we will start by grabbing our gold, or whatever color you're using for that part, and we're going to lay it going diagonally down on the right. And we're only going to work on the right side for now. And then after you lay that 1, we're going to go to the border color and lay that straight. From here on out, we will be laying 2 golds instead of just the 1. And I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to go diagonal that way, and now going the opposite way diagonally, like that. So it kind of makes a V if you look at the loom sideways. After you've laid 2 of them, then you're going to go back to your border color and lay that straight. We'll go back to the gold, and we will lay our sideways V. And then go back to laying your border. I find that if you look at it like that in your mind, saying that you have to lay 2 or lay a V, you won't mess up. Otherwise, if I don't look at it like that, I would lay 1 and then lay the border band, and I kept messing that up when I was practicing the design. So take your time. Once you have 2 of the golds laid, lay your straight teal border, and you're good to go. We will continue that down the loom. Okay, so I've just laid my 10th teal over there on the side, and the last thing that we're going to do is just grab 1 more of the gold, and we're going to lay it going diagonally upwards towards that teal, like so. Do not lay another one going upwards right there. That's going to be where our border goes. So go ahead and push that side down, and then we're going to do this exact same thing on the left side. So just to get you guys started off, remember you're going to start by laying just 1 of the gold, and then lay your straight border. And then after you do that, then you will start laying the 2 golds at a time, which is the sideways V, and then the border. So go ahead and do that just like you did the right side, and I'll meet you back here at the end. When you do reach the end, don't forget to lay that last gold. So you've laid your 10 teal going straight, but that last gold diagonal band. And it should look like that when you do reach the end. Go ahead and hit the pause button until you're caught up. And once you are, we're going to come back to the beginning, and we're going to lay a single chain running down the center, which you don't really see a whole lot. It's the gold that hides in there. And we are just simply going to lay that going straight down the middle until you reach the last one at the end. So it will be 12 of them. Like so. Push them down some, and now we're going to choose the color that sits in the middle of the bracelet, which is my burgundy brown. Now you can use more than one color. I haven't made an example bracelet doing that, but you certainly could do that. I'm going to stick with all the one burgundy brown color. We're going to be laying a bunch of X's. So we are going to start on the left side and then diagonal from the right. And now we will go on top, coming down to the middle as well. Or you can look at it from coming from the middle out to the left, because that's how I lay it. But basically, you're just making an X. And we'll do that again. So we will lay it on the left and the right, diagonally into the center. And from that same center, going out. And repeat that again. So we're going to just keep laying these X's all the way down the loom. I will show you exactly where to stop when we get down there, because you won't take it to the very last pin. I also want to say thank you to everyone who sent well wishes, thoughts, and prayers to my dad for his surgery. He's doing really, really good. He's healing very well. He's not allowed out for a while. He can't do like certain activities, lifting, things like that. But he is doing very well and it's healing really good. So thank you all so much. I appreciate all of you. Okay, so when you do get down to the end of the loom, this is what it will look like. You do not want to lay a set right here at the very end, connecting to the last middle pin, because that's where our border is going to connect to. So we are going to push them down a little bit. And actually, we're going to stay down here at the end of the loom. And we're going to grab some more of our border color bands, and we're going to close all this off. So from the left side, down here where your bands end, we're going to go diagonal up to the pin next to it, and then horizontally, and then up to the middle, like that. And then we'll do the same on the opposite side, diagonal up, over, and to the middle, like so. So now we'll come back to the beginning, and if you didn't already push them down, now is where we're going to grab the color that is going to be a bunch of cat bands. You don't see them. They are completely hidden in all of my bracelets, but it's that clear blue. And again, I said this in the beginning, I just grab a random color because you don't see it. But we have to lay a bunch of cat bands. So we are going to start on the rows right next to the middle. And that's where our first cat band will go. And it's going to go right on top of the burgundy brown. And then basically what we're going to do is just go all the way down that row, placing a cat band on those pins there. But the end goal after we're done on all of them but the first and last rows, we are going to be grabbing that cat band and pulling it over like that. So reconnecting to both pins. If you have a way of just going ahead and laying around both so that you don't have to go back and stretch it, you can certainly do that. I just like to do it this way and then use my hook. I find it much easier, but either way will work. So we're going to go down both this row and this row, and that does include the last pin with the border. You will lay it on that one as well. And then I will show you what it looks like after I have them all on and stretched over. So this is what it looks like after you have all of the cat bands on and stretched over. Just a reminder, this one and this one, we do not stretch them. So you just leave the regular cat bands on like that. On all of the middle ones, you stretch them over to the pin next to it. And then again, at the very end, you do not stretch them over either. Right there and right there. So we are going to turn our loom around facing us. And we're going to grab one more border color. And that is going to be our cat band that goes right here on the middle. Like that. And now we are officially ready to start looping. So the first thing that we're going to do is loop the very beginning of this border out. So we're going to go into the very center cat band. And we're going to loop out the teal. So grab the top one. Go to the left. You're just going to sit that band right on top of the cat band that's there. Act like that cat band's not even there. And then we'll reach down into those, grab the next teal, and we'll go to the left again. And one more time with the teal. And now we're going to do the same thing going to the right. So now we're going to be alternating between looping the center gold, which is the straight band on the center row forward, and then looping all of the burgundies to the middle. So we'll first start by going in the very bottom, center pin, grabbing the bottom gold, it's the only band on there, and looping it to the center. Now we're going to go to the left, and we're going to be grabbing the burgundy brown band and bringing that to the middle. Come to the right, do the same thing. There's a lot of bands on this first row, so just be careful there. We're just bringing it all to the middle, and now we're going to do the same to the top two burgundy brown bands. So I always do bottom left, bottom right, and then top left, top right, and you want to be consistent so that it looks good in the end. So we're going to go into this cat band. The first band that's in there is the one we're grabbing. Loop it down to the middle. And repeat on the right side. So it makes a little star looking thing there. This is the hardest part and trickiest part. When you go to, it's very tight in here. We have to loop the gold forward. There is a lot of stuff we have to move in here. So you want to kind of look down in there, make sure you're in front of everything. Grab the bottom gold. Sorry, I'm blurring out. And I carefully and slowly loop that forward. I've had a lot of bands break doing that, so you do want to be very careful. It's a pain in the butt to change that band out. So now we're going to loop the X bands all over again. So we're going to come down here. Like I said, I like to always start on the bottom left and loop that to the middle, and then the bottom right, top left, top right. After all four are looped in, we have to push everything back, grab the bottom gold, and carefully loop it forward. You really have to work it around the pin to get it off of it. Okay, so we're just going to keep doing that, looping them all to the middle and the gold up. So are you guys ready for Christmas? It's almost here. It's coming quickly. I'm always telling you guys how I'm a last minute shopper, last minute type of person. And I'm done Christmas shopping. I cannot believe it. It's a miracle. I pretty much didn't start until like Black Friday was happening. And Cyber Monday. So that weekend, I basically got all my shopping done, almost all my shopping done in like a 2-day span, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, I just was like glued to my phone. I like to order a lot online. Then I did go to the mall and get some clothing and stuff. But yeah, I do have one thing I have to get, but it's something small. Otherwise, I am done and I'm so happy. Happy to be done. My son wanted to go to the mall the other day, and the on-ramp to get to our mall, the line of cars, it was so bad because apparently there was no parking left in the parking lot. So all these people are just sitting in this line on the highway waiting for like one car at a time to leave the mall so they could get into the parking lot. And I'm thinking, what in the world do you need to get that is so important that you'd be willing to sit in that line waiting for one car at a time to leave? I don't know. I just think that's just absolutely insane. I'm sure there's another time you could sneak over there. Maybe that's just me, but I just don't think it's worth it to fight that traffic and the crowds, and I don't know. But I've always been that, oh no, that's what I don't want to happen to you guys. So my gold broke, so I have to unfortunately fix it, and I'm going to do it on camera so you can see what I do. I pop all of my X bands off because they're already locked in from other bands. I pull my broken one out. I drop my new one down. And in case it's going to break again, I don't reattach my burgundy ones yet. So I act like I'm going to loop it. And instead of looping it up, I actually loop it over here to the right for a second, because it didn't break. So I'm like, okay, now I'm good to put my bands back on. And I have to do it starting from this right, left, bottom right, and bottom left. And you reattach it all on there. And then I grab this and loop it forward. It is a pain if that keeps happening. So I hope it doesn't happen to you guys. But I know a lot of these bands from the kits are not the strongest, which is another reason that I don't even attempt to make these kind of designs anymore that are super tight. Like, it's just too risky. I don't know. A lot of my old designs are very tight, and I just don't know that these bands will work for that anymore, because the quality is just not the greatest. Sorry, Rainbow Loom, but it's true. Now, their bands from their website are still good. At least a lot of them are still good. Not all of them. But I've been wanting to stock up in case they go out of stock of their old opaque bands, because they're the best really, as far as like regular bands go. So anyway, I was just rambling on and I forget what I was saying. Okay, so that is what it looks like once we are finally complete that part. We're going to come back to the beginning and we're going to be looping the sides now. So I'm going to do the right side first. And we're going to be going into this first cap band right here. And we're going to loop the top gold band downwards, so back to itself. After that one is looped down, we're going to loop the border up. So go into the side pin and loop that bottom teal forward. And just like when we laid them, we're going to do the same with looping. After that part is done, now we will always be looping 2 golds. And then we will loop the border up, and we will keep alternating. So we'll go into this cap band, loop the gold to itself. Come up to the next cap band and grab that gold and loop that to itself. And then we'll go into the side and loop up the border. We'll do that again. So we will loop the gold. Come up here, loop the gold. And now go into the side and loop the border. So 2 golds you loop out and then you loop the border. And we'll keep alternating that up the loom. Once your last gold is looped back to itself, that is where you're going to stop at the top of the loom. So once mine is complete, I will show you what mine looks like, and then we will move on from there. once you loop your last gold out, that is where you're going to stop. Do not loop anything else. That should be the last thing that you do. And then you're going to need to do the exact same thing on the left side. So I'll get you started with the first one. So go into the cap band here, loop your first gold down, back to itself, and then loop up the border. And then from here, you're going to loop 2 golds every time. So gold, loop the gold down, and border going up. So get that side done just like you did the right side, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so just a quick little reminder, your last one going up on the left will be the gold. Don't do anything to the teal up there. And now we're going to be alternating, looping 3 different things. Just the same way we laid the teal, white, and pink, we're going to loop it in the opposite direction. So we're going to do one side at a time. I find it easier. So we're going to stick to the right side, and we're going to loop the white first. So come down in this pin. Everything's going back to itself. So the white will go diagonally to the right. Come back to the same pin and loop the teal forward. After you do that, we need to loop the pink horizontal band, but you want to loop it from here. So from where the white diagonal band was looped, go in there, grab your horizontal pink, and bring it back to itself, like so. Bring it inward. That's the 3 things we're going to alternate. So now we'll go into this pin and loop the diagonal white out to itself. Go back in the same pin and loop the teal forward. And then come in here and loop the white, the hot pink to itself. And that's what we're going to do all the way up. So we do our white diagonal, our teal going forward, and our hot pink. Just don't make the mistake of accidentally looping the pink this way. You have to loop it inwards or your bracelet will fall apart. So, very important, that part. This is a design that you really do need to use your hook to remove it. So I do recommend you guys sticking around to the end. Or just, if you don't stick around, make sure you go starting from the outer rows to the inner rows using your hook. It does take longer, but it really helps not break anything and to keep the bracelet looking nicer if you take your time and remove it using your hook. After you loop your last pink into the middle, finish off by doing your diagonal and then your last teal going forward. So now you guys are going to go ahead and do the same thing on the left side. There is no difference except the direction. So I'll do the first one with you. So we will do the white, bringing it back to itself. This time it's just going towards the left. And then the teal will go forward. And then make sure when you do the pink, you're going into the band wherever your diagonal was, grabbing your horizontal, and bringing it inwards. So this side we brought into the left. On the left side, you need to be bringing it in to the right. So other than that, there is no difference. Just wanted to point that out to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do this off of camera. You guys go ahead and keep getting this looped up, and I will meet you back here when I reach the top. Okay, you guys, so hit the pause button until you are caught up. The last thing we're going to do is close off the top of the loom or the border. So on the left side, you're just going to go into the top corner and you're just going to loom the teal bands all to the right. So you're grabbing the very bottom band in each pin and bringing it to the center. Do the same on the right side, bringing it into the left, grabbing the bottom band each time. Like so. We're going to locate that loose band that we had at the beginning for the closing purposes. We're going to reach down in there, make sure you're getting in front of all of those bands. Grab that and bring both ends together. Now we are going to do something a little different this time. I am going to actually have you make this first extension right now while this is still on the loom. So the number of extension bands you'll need may differ. The one we're going to be doing while it's on the loom is going to be the middle one. And we're just going to use our hook to do that. If you don't like using the hook to do an extension, I have a video linked down in my box below to show you how to do it on the loom. So for this bracelet, I like to use 11 extension bands. It makes it really snug and tight and hug my wrist. You may need a little more. So we're just going to pull this band through the bands that were on our hook and then bring both ends together. And you're going to keep doing that until all of the bands are gone. So I have my band. I'm going to pull that whole band through the bands on the hook and then bring them together. It's really not hard to do, but again, if you're not someone that's really great with the hook, you certainly can do it this on the loom. Once we take this off of the loom, I'm going to show you guys where to start your other 2 chains as well. If you want to have 3 extension chains, that's completely up to you. But in the event that you do, I want to show you where. So I'm going to stop there. I don't think I have quite 11, but I just want to show you how to do it. And then once you have them on, attach one of your C-clips. And now we are going to use our hook, and starting at the top right corner, I go down and completely remove every single band off the hook. And I'm going to keep doing this, working from right to left. Once I have the outer rows completely off, and I'm only left with 3 rows, then I do carefully take it off of the loom. I come at the top and I do pull these 3 off. If you don't feel comfortable, you can still use your hook for this part. So this is what it looks like once I took it off of the loom. This is the front side or the signature side. Sometimes you might need to fiddle with these side bands. It's a little on the messier side, but that is how it's supposed to look. But if it's twisted, you can certainly fix it, or if it's sticking out too much, you can pull it from the opposite side. This is the back side, which I think looks really cool too. I like that side as well. But to add on the other 2 extensions, you are going to grab more of your bands. You're going to want to use the same number that you did for the middle chain, and you're just going to come, this is where our chain is here from the middle, you're just going to come right over to the next border band that's sitting next to it. The cat band is in there as well, but you don't need to grab the cat band. So I grab the top part of the border, and then I come down here and grab the bottom part. So just the top and bottom of the border, and then you're going to do the same process of pulling the band through, and then both ends together, and you keep doing that until the number of chains are achieved. And then you're going to attach your C-clip at the end after you've added the number that you need. And then on the left side, it can get a little tricky looking because of the way that the bands are pulling. It looks like you might want to be going into this one here, but it's not. So look at the corner, which is this one here, and then come over 1. That is where you should be going in for the left side. You're just going to go in the top band and then the bottom there, and that's where you will bring in your chains. When you go to close it off, you're going to attach the middle one to the middle cat band down here, But for the side ones, you're going to locate the corner, which is right here. Sits right under the gold. So there's the corner. You're going to come in 1. So right here is where you will attach your C-clip. If you're looking from the middle, it will be the second band to the right and the second band to the left. So that is how you will connect your extension band, and that is how you complete the spiked ribs bracelet. This was created by Keith is Looming Mad on Instagram. I want to thank Keith for allowing me to do this tutorial. I think it's super cool. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, don't forget to share with both of us on Instagram your renditions. But that will be it for today, you guys. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon in my next video. Thank you so much, you guys. Bye.